in the personal story segment tonight, dissecting the new immigration details laid out by Donald Trump this evening. Joining us now to analyze from Santa Rosa Beach, Florida, former Arkansas Governor Mike Huckabee. Mike, we'll dig a little deeper into the speech a little bit. Later on in the speech, at one point he said, this election is our last chance to secure the border. That hit a tone in the room. Your thoughts?
Well, I thought his speech was very specific. I mean, he spent an hour and 15 minutes going through great detail, 10 points. That's more points than most speeches should ever be. But one of the things that I thought he was brilliant at tonight was to bring an affirmation of all the people who have immigrated here legally and to point out that illegal immigration hurts the legal immigrants as much as it does Americans. He also is very careful to talk about that this is about putting America first. Eric, there's something that I find very interesting about Democrats. One of their big lines every time there's a shooting is, if we could just save one life, it would be worth it, even if we had to suspend people's constitutional rights. Help me understand, if you could, why it is that Democrats are willing to suspend the legal constitutional rights of people to protect themselves if they could just save one life. But on the other hand, they're willing to support people here illegally, even though there were many people on that stage tonight with Donald Trump who would say, the life of my child would have been saved had we enforced our borders. It's just an irrational approach the left has, and they never are held accountable for it.
One of the, I can't help you. I can't answer your question other than the hypocrisy of the left. It could be part of the issue. Mike, at one point Donald Trump said Hillary Clinton is going to do nothing for the African American and Latino workers. He was speaking directly to them to get their vote. Is that where that was going?
Well, I think it was a statement of reality. There has been, for a long time, almost a lock vote in the minority community toward Democrats. And look what it's gotten for them. Nothing. Their cities aren't safe. Their kids don't go to decent schools. The job opportunities are less. Greater likelihood they'll be in prison, all because the policies have not really lifted them up. And I think he's quite bold and, frankly, I think incredibly smart to just go out there and tell it like it is. Don't dance around this stuff. Speak clearly, and he's doing that. One of the reasons I think he's the nominee is for that reason. And tonight there was clarity in his speech. Now, let's remember something. Everybody's been criticizing Donald Trump. Well, he's not specific enough. Well, by gosh, tonight he was as specific as a person could be. But here's the problem. No matter what Donald Trump does or says, the mainstream media and the left will never give him credit. If the man walked across the Rio Grande, they would say, yep, see, Donald Trump can't swim. So he's always got to face that problem where no matter what he says, how detailed his policies are, somebody's going to just use it to pick him apart. But I thought it was a great speech, and he nailed it by giving the specifics of not only what we're going to do, but how we're going to do it, and most importantly, why we're going to do it.
Mike, there was a distinctly different tone tonight versus his earlier speech when he spoke with Peña Nieto in Mexico. Your thoughts on why the change in tone, whether it was a good idea or not, to actually change his tone too?
Well, it's the same reason that you speak a little differently to your wife in the theater than you do if you're at a football game. In the setting in Mexico today, it was a diplomatic setting. He was being a gracious and kind guest, as he should have been. And I thought he was presidential. He showed an extraordinary capacity for the kind of diplomacy we want in a president, the kind that people said he didn't have. He showed today he had it. He goes to the rally tonight. It's a rally. It's there to rev those folks up. I don't think he was disrespectful to anything he had said earlier in Mexico. But what he did, he clarified that if he's running for the presidency of the United States, he's running to make America better. It's the Mexican president's job to make Mexico better, not the American president's. And his focus is going to be to make America the best it can be and to protect Americans. That's what he's supposed to do.
Very quickly, before I lose you, who was he speaking to? Who was that speech speaking to, very quickly?
I think it was speaking to Americans who are sick and tired of a government that absolutely has failed to do its fundamental duty of protecting us.
But not minorities. He was speaking to America in general.
Everybody, every American.
Got to leave right there,
We're
Michael.
all Americans.
Thank you very much.